Good morning. Look at all you guys here bright and early, ready to roll.
Good morning.
Good morning. Give one more minute and we'll rock and roll. Ready to go. All right, it's 8:30 Central Time. Welcome to our first call. This is an idea that Yana Hayes, who works with us in the Sugarland office and coaches other team leaders across the country, put together, and I thought it was a great idea. As you know, and if you've not had an opportunity to meet you, I think I know everybody on the screen. I'm Chad, and my journey in KW has given me the opportunity with Andy and I to have six different offices around the country in three states to be able. And we've been really intentional over the last 6 months of going, okay, how do we bring these together in one brand, one vision, one voice? So, six offices, four in the Houston area, one in San Diego, in Del Mar, Carmel Valley area, and one in Western Slope of Grand Junction with some locations in Montrose and Glenwood. So cool opportunity. And so this is just kicking off a little weekly meeting. I'm going to give you some insight, some things that I'm thinking, give you a little bit of one voice just to start the week off. And my theme today is optimism. I do suffer from a high case of optimism. And if you look at the KPA, it'll sometimes tell you that I will miss warning signs that things are not going good, or I'll stick in a little bit longer. And for the most part, I recognize that at the age of 52, that's how old I am, that I could be a blind spot. But this is a good optimism that I have. And so, what I want to share with you, as long as my slide works, is just looking, if you can all see the slide here, some historical data that just kind of shares where we are right now. And so the last couple of years, and this is based on sales, it's been a down market compared to what we have, especially over those last years that we had in 21 and 22. And so when you're in the broker business, it hurts you the most because there's just not a lot of sales that are churning over. And as a real estate professional, it's just more competitive than ever. But what happens is, this is one of my favorite slides. Hold on, I'll come back to the other one is when sales go down, so do the number of agents. So as a trend is when available income goes down, so does the agents. And we've had a lot of agents that have gotten out of the business. And you go, well, that's good news for you. One is good news is you're still here, so you survived. We got still a little bit to go to survive what we're going through. But also the good news of all this is that you survived and going is that all the data is telling us that everything is going to start to pick up. We don't know exactly when that is. Some of your top agents are kind of already feeling it. Some of you might be going, yeah, I noticed it. I got an increase on listings and sales. And yeah, what I'm telling you, there comes a point in there where you can really thrive and have some good income that comes in for you, for your family. And also, it does help the office as well when we get more people producing, where that is a better formula for us. And so, part of this call is just a good news, like optimism is along the way. Good things are going to happen in 26. The real estate market, wherever we were in sales, it's going to get better. Now, Here's the news to it is we're going to need to work hard and have a lot of discipline to make things happen. We have to go to work. And so one of the things I want you to know is this is a 101 business plan for you that you got to be really intentional. One is you have to be very clear what you want to accomplish in your goals. You got to have them written down. I know we preach on that, and I'm not preaching at you today. I'm talking with you if it sounds like it. I get a little passionate. Certainly not some old guy yelling at you if you're the young people or wherever you are. And I'm not yelling at you. I'm doing this with passion. Is you've got to make sure you have clear goals. I hope they're big. I hope they scare you a little bit, actually. Like, these are some things I want to accomplish this year, and I'm going to need to go to work, and we got to really make sure. The next thing we got to do with those goals is we got to have time related action around them. There's got to be a time element to it. You can do that on a yearly, you can do that monthly, you can do it weekly, like we teach with the 411. You got to be really clear. You got to break them down into bite-sized chunks. You know, when I got into Keller Williams, when I got into the leadership part, we used to teach what we called the 410s in Ignite. And the 410s was 10 conversations per day, 10 people added to your database, 10 handwritten notes, and preview 10 homes per week. Anybody remember that? I don't know if you're on there. There's some old times. Rhonda, I'm looking at you. I know you remember that. Just a really solid foundational way to go about your business. Now, if 10's too much for you, break it down to 5. Do 5 conversations, 5 people added to your database, 5 handwritten notes, right? And you could add some content into this too if you're on social media and you're posting content, whatever the formula is, and previewing 5. That's what we mean around time-based activities to get we done. Very chunkable, something we can do every day. That's where we have to go to work. And then the last piece we got to do with this is we got to add a budget to fund all these activities. Now, there's 2 different ways we can get into this business, right? We can be prospecting based or we can marketing based. Most of us are going to be prospecting based because it takes time, not as much money, but we also got a budget to fund the actions. So really clear goals, really clear on your activities that you're going to do to drive that's going to help you to do that. Break it down. It's everyday activity. And I'm going to tell you, there's good things that's going to happen with this along the horizon. And I talk to a lot of top people. They're telling me they got good things already happening. Some of you on this call are off to your best January ever. That's exciting. That just tells you to be optimistic about it. Some of you might going, holy smokes, Chad, I'm getting my butt kicked starting the year. No matter where you are, we've got to be able to break this down, right? And I just go back to this. There's good news on the horizon if you look at these slides, right? They're beginning just to shape up where people need to get into home ownership. Now, when we were back in this era here in 21 and 22, and some of you might have got started kind of in that 21, 22, it was such a speed-based business. If we ran fast and we got there first and we threw things on a contract or an offer, we got things that worked. And boy, have we moved to such a skilled base business. We got to have the skill. If you've been around me long enough, you know I love the Shift book. I think it's probably one of Gary Keller's most brilliant way to put things in application that really help us. Boy, there's some great tactics there to really help us. We still got to price these listings accordingly. And if they have an agent who is willing, if you're talking to a seller and there's an agent willing to price it at a price that's not going to happen, you might just need to let it go. It's going to help us to run faster. Because we know there's only 2 things, and some of you guys are in here a lot and know a lot more about showing up to that listing appointment than I do. We got to show up there, right? It's either price and condition. We got to hit these on the market so they move fast. My joke on some of you is You go, hey, I got so many listings. I thought I saw Tiffany on here earlier when she said she was up to 13 listings. I go, are you collecting them or are you selling them? There's a difference. Some of us, we've been guilty of that. If you've done this long enough, we've collected listings. But way to go, Tiffany. She goes five under contract now. She was like, shut up, Chad. I am not collecting them. I'm selling them. But make sure we're not just grabbing listings to put in our collection. We're getting listings so we can help the seller along and actually move the property. So, and then I'm going to let you guys talk a little bit. This is a little theme that we're putting together every Monday. Jan is going to have an opportunity to talk to you as well, just to give you some insight, some energy, and some passion to get started with your week. Won't necessarily always take your 30 minutes. Might have somebody jump on and share a little bit what's going on. I'm doing a little bit more of the talking this morning, just to kind of set the tone and what we're after. But it's just a good way to get started, especially in our group. People have asked me, they go, hey, Chad, what does the EPIC stand for? And each one of the words means something. And this one's going around the P because the P is we got a plan, right? The E is evaluate wherever we are, ourselves, our business, the market we want to evaluate, right? We want to plan. The I stands for implement. We got to go to work, right? We got to put these things into action. This is the four tens. And then the C is we want to cultivate relationships, right? Have experiences together, have opportunities like this to share as we move forward. All right, and the last piece I'll send you to some of my stories that I share are repeats, and I just repeat stories. Andy says, you tell the same stories all the time. I said, different people to tell them to, and they get better over time. So, I mean, my stories just get better, but these aren't made up stories. This comes from the book called Good to Great by Jim Collins. Anybody read it? If you read it, fantastic book. But in the book, he talks about a guy named Jim Stockdale. And this is just something that's really rooted in me. And Jim Stockdale was a prisoner at war during the Vietnam, 7, 8 years prisoner. Horrible conditions if you were there. I mean, the worst of the worst. You're talking years, not days. And they're like, man, Jim, how did you survive? How did you? And not only that, he came out and he was a thriving individual after all that. And he said, well, the first I got to tell you the people that didn't make it. Who were those? There were the ones that just hoped that everything would be around and they based it on a major holiday. Hey, I hope I'm out of here by Christmas, Easter along the way. And then when those things came, they would actually die of a broken heart. So you can't have just, oh, everything's going to be better. It'll be all right. And then the second one goes, what is the next group? He said the next group that just put their head down and they had the discipline to survive each day, but they never looked for something better. They actually lost hope and they didn't make it. He goes, so you got to have both. You have to have the discipline that it takes to put in the work, kind of do the grind, but the hope of a better future that's coming, right? As you hear around me, I always say is, may you always say your best days are ahead of you. But, excuse me, and we got to do the work that's needed today. We got to make sure we're really clear on our goals, our action plans, and then we also have a little bit of money and budget to fund all these things. And that is the kickoff of our little thing today. Anybody got some thoughts or like, geez, Chad, shut up. I got to go make calls. Tell me what you're thinking this morning. This is where we have the interaction part. Then I'll call on people. And I know Serena shows up always to the James Shaw. So I'm like, don't compare this to the James Shaw part of it. Is that I'm junior varsity just as we get started. Everybody clear on their goals and their plan? If you're not, I would tell you go get with your leader that sits next to you. If it's a team leader, if it's a PC, go get with them and just be real clear where you are on this. Have them helping. And remember, it's a one pager. This isn't a whole document in it. Well, it's one page is all you need. This is my goal. Here are my priorities. Here's the way I'm going to go about it. And if you don't have anything else, go use the 410s. Regina, what you got? I know you got something wise.
Well, we're rereading the MREA book as a book club in our office. Small group, but powerful group. And the section I'm just on is you gotta, if you have big goals, you have to set those habits. And you build the habits, you might have $2.5 million habits that needs to lead to a $5 million habit, 10,
Mm,
20, 50, 100, whatever it is. But you have to have that goal and then break it down to those habits that are going to get you to that. And I think that's just kind of what you're talking about, those time-based actions, making sure, you're spending the dollars in the right way. And if you know what the goal is, then you can measure the outcome of that and it all falls into place. So you're just emphasizing all of the principles in the MREA book.
Can I put you
So
on the spot? What's your
yeah,
goal this year?
my goal is 20 million. Um, and I was working last week and this week. I have a new ops manager. You'd be real proud of me, Chad.
There you
I
go.
finally got it, and she's awesome. And we're creating standards of how many contacts. Are they coming from my database? Are they coming from not Mets? Are they coming from open houses? Whatever. And actually, as a solo agent, here's where I went wrong or have learned from is that as a solo agent, if somebody has a shiny penny that says this is an easy way to get your leads done, or this is an easy way to market it, we sat on a call with a marketing company that I've been paying and realizing, and she asked the question, well, how do we know? Where are the analytics to know if this is being successful or not? And he's like, oh, that's a really good question. Well, and I said, well, you know what? We'll give you till next week and we're setting up a follow-up appointment. Show us those analytics so I know that this is worth it. Otherwise, you may go away. So you have to, I have to look at that too of where my business closing is coming from as well. So
Yep. That's
anyways,
great. Good
thank you.
stuff. Thanks, Regina.
Yeah.
20 million. I like it. I heard it. She claimed it. Okay. Anybody else got some thoughts, some inspiration? Don't make me call on somebody.
So Regina and Julie are the ones that are on James Shaw's call every morning because it's at like 5:30. But so David Jones is my coach and he's amazing. Something that I'm working on right now is that no matter what, get 5 leads added to the pipeline every week. It doesn't
Mhm.
because I got 4 under contract in 1 week and 2 new listings, and that takes a lot. And so trying to keep those under is taking so much more time. And so if I always just commit to doing 5 new leads per week to my pipeline, then I can keep moving forward and it keeps my coach happy.
If your coach is happy, that means you're making your great goals, Serena. So keep on it. It's that consistency. It's that time on task. There is an element that we wake up and go, man, my life's a little boring, especially Monday through Friday, especially in your mornings. You should have a routine and have a boringness to your day, and you should embrace it. Certainly, every top leader I've ever worked with or coach would really emphasize your life should be really boring. There was a football player that I like, J.J. Watt, which is a Houston guy, and one of the best that ever played the defensive end position. And he was the group of wide receivers. You know how the wide receivers are. They like to go out and do some things. And like, JJ, come with us. Come on, we're going out. And he goes, no, I'm not doing it. He goes, in fact, I'm really a boring guy. He goes, my evenings are done. And he goes, and I've been studying Olympic uh, athletes before they get ready to go on Olympic kind of the final, activities, and they'll get up to 10 to 12 hours of sleep. And he goes, I frankly, I just go to bed early. And she goes, my life is super boring. And yet you see him on the field and you think of some celebrity and this is all great. No, he embraced the fact of if you're going to do this, there's going to be some boring elements to it. Julie, what you got?
Well, first off, thanks, Chad, for doing this. I think it's a great idea, and I'm excited to start this journey with everyone together. But I've been struggling this last month. I'm going to be upfront and honest. It's been a struggle bus this first month of the year. The year was hard. And I couldn't really pinpoint what it was. A lot of things emotionally and physically going on in my brain. And my coach helped me work through this last week. She said, Julie, what's the one thing that you can get back to that would help you just start your day better? And I was like, I get up every morning. I'm on the James Shaw calls every morning at 5:30 in the morning. But I I decided to get back to walking in the morning with those calls. And so it's 5:30 in the morning, it's dark, and it was 30 degrees when I headed out this morning. But I set out my stuff last night. I got it all put together. So this morning I didn't have an excuse. I got my clothes on, got my walking shoes on, and headed out the door. And I'm headed off to work right now and headed to the office. And I can tell you that my brain is clearer this morning because I just focused on what I know I can do, and habit stacking is a new thing that I'm going to start doing. I already have a habit of getting up at 5:30 every morning, so I'm going to start the habit of walking with that 5:30. So,
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Good
Yep.
stuff. That's excellent. Except the 5:30 part. I did not make that this morning. So, okay. Someone else. Let's get one or two.
Hey Chad, it's
Yes.
Tina. Hey, so I went to a summit this month or early January, and
Yes.
it really got invigorated on having that boring day. They kind of lined out your daily schedule of getting up, being ready to call people, knowing who you're calling every day. Take your breaks, have your lunch, get back on the call if you don't have any, or get back on the phone if you don't have any appointments, and just really focused on your plans. So it's amazing since I've been following that schedule, how many appointments I've gotten, how many contacts I've made, and yeah, on track. I mean, it's not perfect yet, but still iron it out. And
Yes.
to piggyback on what you were saying at being skill based realtors this year, it's role playing, it's having your scripts prepared and showing up every single time. Because I'm going to appointments that people are just saying, oh, well, they're really not listening to sellers where they need to list it. And like you said, just taking the listing. And I've actually turned down a listing saying it's not going to sell right there, and I'm here to sell your property, not just doing you a disservice and getting your listing stale. So
Yeah.
just
That's great.
working on those skills.
Yeah. Very good. Thanks, Tina. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. It is very much a skill base. You know, when some of the conversations you hear, if you're new in this group, I could tell you, you might be developing your skill, yet keep going. Of the years of Andy and I've sat in a leadership position, we've seen kind of when I say younger in the business coming. And I'm like, man, you're doing the right things. You're doing the right things. Keep after it. Keep after it. It will happen. The dam will break loose. And and sometimes people give up when they're this close to having success. Now, we can't tell you when the dam's going to break loose. We're just telling you it will happen if you keep after it. And I've seen people really keep out. Shoot, Mona was on this call. Mona had to keep after it for a couple of years before it really broke loose and built a big business. So if you're doing the right act, just stay after it. And if you're lacking in some skills, when you hear something, get in the office, like Tina was saying, and go find one of the top peoples and go work through it and say, here, this is what I'm hearing. How would you handle it? And we got enough in collaboration in this group to really be powerful because we are better together. Okay, one more, and then I'll let you guys go crush it today. Anybody else? One more insight, a little transparency. commitment.
Hey, Chad, I want to just remind the agents if they are seeking the business, they need to be prospecting based and not marketing based, right? If you're wanting uh, deals to close in February, now is the time for you to go do those prospecting based activities, not sit back and wait for the business to come to you, but go seek the business. So, doing those open houses, door knocking, doing those expireds. Go to page 138 in the MREA. It tells you everything to do on the prospecting side. And don't just sit back and wait for it to come to you. You go get that business. If you're hungry and you need the business, go get it.
That's awesome. It's out there. There's going to be lots of sales. I know that's going to happen in this year. Remember, opportunity just doesn't go away in this business. Opportunity goes to someone else. And let's go grab our share of this, right? To fund the world and fund the things that you're after. Fund the vacation that you want, right? Fund a purchase that you want in real estate to it. Maybe it's the year that you're committed all this because you're going to get out of debt. Whatever it is for you, if you commit to and you make it bite size and just go after it every day, we just keep chipping away. And Atomic Habits is another one of my stories I repeat often. It talks about the stone cutter. And in the book, when a stone cutter is chipping something, it takes 101 blows to split a rock open. And the stone cutter knows it wasn't the 101st blow, it was all the ones before it that led up to breaking it. And hence is our business. Just keep chipping away. May your life be a little boring at times. May you be in a routine. And we keep chunking it down. There is good news, by the way. There is good news. And when people go, I'm out, you're like, that's unfortunate that you're out. You just go, but I'm going to keep going. So appreciate you guys. If there's anything that I can do, let me know. You got great leaders in each of our office. Reach out to them. And if you're missing out on some plans and you're not clear what you want to do, go get in there and get some clarity on your goals and the activity needed. So go crush it. Let me know. Can't wait to see you next week and hear about your success. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.